Hello everyone, welcome to another Visual Showcase episode here for the EU Review on the EU Review's YouTube channel and Facebook page. Doesn't it seem like every so often George Lucas just sort of changes his mind about the personality and the workings inside the mind of Darth Vader? Sometimes even changing what he looks like, whether in or out of the costume. Wait, what? Oh, hell no. He said no. Twice! Alright, forget this. DVD version time. There you go. Silent and stoic, baby. Wait a second. Wait. Where's his eyebrows? What the hell are his eyes doing as blue? Alright, forget it. Original, unaltered version time. There you go. Anakin Skywalker with his original eye color and his original eyebrows. Yeah, seems like tinkering is just something we're going to have to live with. However, one thing that we've been wondering for quite a while, at least many of us, is what's underneath the hood, so to speak, for Darth Vader? What is it that makes him tick physically thanks to being more machine than man? We've had answers to this every now and then in various technical journals, essential guides, and things like that, but our best chance to look under the hood actually now comes in the form of a book that is in the same vein as that 3D owner's guide for the Millennium Falcon. Previously on a Visual Showcase episode, I believe it was episode 4, we checked out this, the Star Wars Millennium Falcon 3D Owner's Guide. A great little piece of work that has cutaways of the Millennium Falcon as you go through it with great information alongside it. Not only showing you cutaways of the top side, but cutaways of the bottom side here as well. A nice little piece of work from Scholastic. The original artistic team from the Millennium Falcon Guide, Chris Riff and Chris Travas, both of which I probably just mispronounced, are back again, this time not with Ryder Wyndham, but with Dan Wallace for another of these cutaway 3D guides. This time, though, it's not a vehicle, it is Darth Vader himself. This is Darth Vader, a 3D reconstruction log. As with the previous one, you're looking at 22 pages of material here with information on both sides as we cut away Darth Vader, looking at both the front and the back as we go along. It's very nice, also again by Scholastic, and while it is the same size, it is actually a little bit cheaper than the previous one. Not in its publishing values or anything like that, simply on its cover price. The Millennium Falcon Guide was $21.99 US. This is $19.99 US. So it's a couple bucks cheaper, but still a very similar product from the standpoint of quality, thickness, the production materials that went into this thing right here. Here's basically what we have. We have Darth Vader here on the cover. Notice this is another cardboard cutout. This is not a plastic sort of little mannequin or whatever you want to call it, a little plastic figurine as we had with that human body one that I showed you when we reviewed the Millennium Falcon Guide. This is another cardboard cutaway style. And as we go through here, we have information on various elements of different, essentially, body types and that sort of thing. So we start out with him with his lightsaber and whatnot. Then we cut away a little bit, removing just the helm there. Do we see him Return of the Jedi get removed? Further, we're removing the actual mask itself, as we see again in Return of the Jedi. And as we keep going through, we're slowly cutting away little bits and pieces, including parts of his lightsaber and artificial hand, which is interesting. Can we keep going? And so we finally get inside the body, what parts are real, what parts are not, what parts are augmented in order to keep him alive. Further and further till we reach the end with some information about Anakin, of course, himself. On the other hand, you look on the other side, as we go, we have built up to the back of the man's skeleton. I won't go through the entire thing, but you see you go to the back there, back of the inside of the lightsaber and whatnot. Really kind of a neat cutaway. And just like in the previous instance, Lots of great information on the right side pages with the front-facing figurine or front-facing cutaway, and equally interesting information on the other side for the back-facing cutaway materials. For instance, the other side of his chest plate and whatnot. Really interesting stuff. You wind up with little factoids as you go along. It's not one giant text, as you saw there when checking out the different bits here. Perhaps that's what Padme liked to see, minus the crispy critter part. You do have little blurbs. It's not like one big long block of text. So we're talking about something that's somewhat like the visual guides, but a little bit more interesting as far as the way the facts are put together. It's not one new character each page. It's more depth on one individual character's transformation, in a sense, from being human to cyborg. A really neat guide, great artwork, great fun information, one of the most in-depth looks that we have ever gotten into the workings of Darth Vader from a physical standpoint here. Also some great information about him as a character. Though the character information, not a lot of new stuff for those of you who are already familiar with the EU. But you will probably find that there is at least some about his body structure, about the technology that went into him, that you may not have seen before. What little is seen before about this tends to be stuff that most people are not very familiar with. So I know this makes for a pretty short review, but what you see here is what you get. And what you get and what you see are both pretty good here. This is the Darth Vader 3D reconstruction log, again by Dan Wallace, with art by Chris Travas and Chris Reef. It is $19.99 US. You can find it in bookstores, though frankly ordering it through Amazon.com is a good idea. You can get a slight discount on it. However, bear in mind, Amazon.com will ship this thing, at least they did to me, in one of these huge boxes. Look at the size of the book compared to the box. And they ship this loose in the box. Fortunately, the book itself is pretty sturdy. Mine does have a little bit of edge wear and such, and I just took this out of the box maybe an hour ago. So I would maybe try to order it through a bookstore where you might get a discount, like say Barnes & Noble, have it shipped there and pick it up physically in person, because if you do order it through Amazon, you'll get a lower price, but you run the risk of having the edges dinged. It is pretty sturdy though. They're not going to be dinged too much no matter what, but you might want to play it safe just a little bit. As for my recommendation, definitely a high recommendation, as with the Millennium Falcon 3D Owner's Guide, here, for both of our 3D Cutaway series, particularly the brand new Darth Vader, a 3D reconstruction log. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you again soon for another Visual Showcase episode here for the EU Review.